Okay, we're live. I'm Dr. Koth, the director of MECA, MECATX. We're on YouTube, MECATX live. So if anybody's interested, what we're doing tonight is testing chat. We tested last night, tonight, and tomorrow is the full moon. So this is a full moon time. This is sturgeon moon, and it's also, I believe they said, a blue moon, second moon in the month. As it comes up, it's supposedly in perigee at about 30% closer to the Earth. So it should be a super blue moon. In other words, they call it super when they're very close to the Earth. And it's going to be low in the sky when you get that false feeling of or seeing of a large moon. As it moves up in the sky, it will no longer be large. So anyway, right now I'll switch it to the moon, and you'll see that we're not getting it very well. So we did a program last night testing these systems, and right now it looks like all of these systems are working pretty good, except for the outdoor infrared camera for some reason won't transmit here. So anyway, we're live, and this is camera one. So I'm going to bring up the tablet with the moon on there, and then we'll try to do another search for the moon and see what happens. And there you have the moon. So let's see if we can focus that in. You can see a little bit there, the roundness of the moon, but the clouds are covering it. So last night we had the same problem. We had a cloud cover in the east where the moon comes up. And when we went off the air later in the evening, the clear sky was above us and in the west. So I'm going to try to do an old focus here and see if that'll come in any better. It's not too bad a picture, except it's not the moon that we want to see. So those of you who are on there, I'd like you to get on chat because we're testing the chat tonight. We haven't tested it yet. So I'm going to put something up. And see if that comes through on chat. We haven't done chat on YouTube yet, so. And there you can see the moon is a little bit clearer. And we're trying to do these programs there. We got a complete cloud cover. So that's kind of what you see when you get complete cloud cover. It just shows lines in front of the moon on the thing. And it looks like my sound is a little hot. So if anybody's on chat, I'd like you to comment on there and tell me, because I'm about to turn the sound down just a little bit. So we'll see if I can do that. And there we are. My meter's showing a little bit better now. And you can see the moon's picking in and out there. It's playing peekaboo with us. So when you're doing programs like these, I don't see any chat here. Oh, wait, it looks like maybe we did. Oh, yeah, there's Thad. Do you have a good view of the moon? Well, Thad, you should be seeing the view of the moon that I have right now. So it's up there being transmitted. So are you not seeing that? You can comment again on chat. And I'm in hopes that Roy will come on there too. So, but anyway, no, the moon is not very good. So while you're waiting, okay, well, you're seeing pretty much what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the moon a little bit over to the right with about 5 lines through it, and it's pretty dark. You're not seeing any discrete fixtures of the moon. So what we're trying to do is to teach. So we're set up here to fill time if we have people from, we're hoping to get a line of participants between North, Central, and South America. And if we do, you have to fill time with them. So what I've got is I'm by myself right now, so it's better to have another person working with you. I'm going to switch over and show you the Crisium, Maria Crisium, which is one of the brightest on the right side of the moon. So whenever a new moon comes up, this is the first thing that you'll see. So in the October issue of Sky and Telescope magazine, they had about 3 pages and pictures. Oh, there we lost that. So I'll switch over 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is the we call it the Sea of Crisis. So it's when you see and look at the moon, it's better to look at the terminator, which is right where the moon starts. And that moves for the whole 28 days, or actually for 14 days, across from east to west. So when it first comes up, this is one of the first craters you'll see. So if you're studying the moon like a lot of people do, you'll see there, this is from Moon Trek. This is a program that NASA puts up where you can bring up the various moon features, measure them, and also 3D print them, which will show you the 3D printer that we have. We'll print these out, and we're printing them in 2 colors, black and white, and black for the bottom of the crater, white for the mountaintops, and then blue and white because we're working on using these for landing sites for our young people as they land the drone on the moon. So there around it, you can see it's a round circle. And in the middle, you see the name of it. And then around the edges, you have the dorsum. In Latin and in medicine, dorsal is your back. So it's the backside or the backside of that crater. But it kind of implies in astronomy something like a vein under their skin. You can see I was going to say like a river, valleys, you won't see water, but anyway, you'll see crevices wherever those dorsums are around the edge. And then you can see within this Sea of Crisis, Maria crater, you have other craters there on the left side of the screen as my left looking at it. You'll see 3 craters. So down at the bottom, I don't know if these are numbered there, but we have them labeled on one of our programs. One is called Picard. The one at the lowest bottom is called Yerkes, Yerkes. So the moon came up there a minute ago, but it's gone again. So anyway, what I'm going to do is switch now to another camera where I can show you what these things are going to print out that in the moon map that we've got on the floor. So we're going to switch to camera 3. And now I'm going to come back here. And you'll see I'm on this moon map. We have 3D printed, actually we have not 3D printed it. We sent this off to be printed on vinyl. So we use it for the young people to learn in parts of the moon and to find things on the moon. So this here at the bottom is the South Pole. So if you go up here, this is the equator. That is 0, 0, where my right there, okay? Then as you go up here to the top, this is the North Pole. So this part of it from here to the equator is where all the Apollo missions were. Now, us and the Chinese are landing down here in the South Pole. So that's what we're working on. So here you'll see the Moon Trek program by NASA. You can see I'm going to bring this up closer to the camera. And you can see, I don't know if you can see that's raised, but anyway, you can see the mountains, the valley, the craters, and so on. So they can actually study and decide where actually to land a spacecraft, or in our case, where to land the JRTC drone that we're going to be working on this semester. And then you can see on the back side, we can 3D print a QR code, and on that QR code, it will tell everything about this side here. It'll give you the information on the latitude, the longitude, the name of it, and any other information that you want to put on there. We have minimal information, but for example, on this article from the Sky and Telescope magazine, for the one on the Maria Crisis, Sea of Crisis, so we say it in English, we can put up to 1025 ASCII characters. So we can put most of that article that tells about all these different areas here and gives the names of them, and also some pictures. So we'll go back here, and you can see I can run this system from a tablet. So I'm going to go back and just show you. There's our logo again for the International Observe the Moon Night that we're preparing for. You can see it's on September 14th. And we'll be at the Harker Heights, Texas library for that. And we'll be having an outreach. We'll do an indoor session, academic type with the kids with the moon map. And then we'll go outdoor with our smart telescopes and show them how to find the moon. We'll keep our fingers crossed that we do find the moon. So we're going to take that off. And I'll go back now and show you we're getting a little bit more moon on the tablet. And I'll see if I can do an autofocus. And you might be able to see a little bit more, but you're still not going to see a good moon. And if we hang in there enough, you will see. You can see the moon there and the streaks of light through the clouds. You can actually see some of the circle of the moon. So now this smart telescope that we're using is a C-Star. Up to the eclipse, from November to the eclipse, we worked with the Dwarf 2. There's a Dwarf 3 coming out later in the fall, and we probably get one of those, but we're working now with the C-Star through the International Observe the Moon Night. And it's doing a pretty good job so far. So let me see. Well, we just lost it there again. It's going to come and go as the clouds move through. But interesting enough, so far, the C-Star has been able to track the moon, because when you do set up the C-Star, it's a Zoe C-Star S50. If you go to how to do it, first thing you have to do is set up the compass. So do what they call a compass dance. You go around one time, 360 degrees, 2 times, and that sets the compass inside. And then you must level it, and then it's got 2 bubbles, electronic bubbles, which makes it nice, but it's very difficult to. Well, there's our moon back again. So you can see it's coming and going as the clouds are passing by. I don't know if I can bring that down or not, but we can try. No. We're just not going to see it There it comes up. You're seeing it again, decent. Getting a little bit better. But let's see what people say. Welcome to live chat. Thad. Okay, I'm waiting on Roy. And there I've sent a message to Roy. For those who may be watching these are our members who are watching this there. So I'm going to switch over here to another back here. And this is a second computer feeding into the system. So if I have an assistant there, anything your computer will do will feed into the system. Well, we've got somebody watching this. And yes, we are here in Central Texas. So the great state of Texas. And we're doing this, what was called backyard astronomy. So as I was saying before, I got that beep. There's a computer feeding into the system here that will feed into the system anything that the computer sees. So I don't know about the rest of you, if you've got a clear moon tonight, but there it's getting a little bit better. As I say, it's not uncommon to have one part of the sky cloudy and the rest of the sky not so cloudy. Lost it again. And there we are back. So it's going to play peekaboo with us, it looks like, all night. So. And you will hear those beeps. So I'm glad we got the chat going. We've been doing this two different ways. One is we go in through Zoom. The problem with Zoom, it adds another layer of complication, and you can see that we've got enough layers of complication here. We've got the sound, we've got 3 cameras going, we have the computer going, and then we have the tablets. So, and then next we have, I'll show you that, we can go to graphics here, and we can bring up different things. This happens to be the logo that we have set here for people who want to join us on September 14th. We'll probably be doing a session like this the night before on September 13th, which is a Friday. And then September 14th, we'll actually be looking at the moon. And there I am again. So if you have any questions, now's the time to do it. Right now, the moon is nothing but a cloud. So if it comes up again, I'll do that. I think I'll walk outside and see what it looks like to my eyes. Okay, you'll see me get up, and I had a camera outside so we'd have an inside and outside view. The problem is it's dark out there. Therefore, what I got to do this kind of work is an infrared camera. For some reason, when I first got it a couple months ago, it would come up, but tonight I couldn't get it up. One of the problems is the length of the cable. The cable, HDMI cable I'm using for that, is 100 foot long, so probably doesn't have sufficient signal to come through here. So I'm going to walk outside and look at the moon and take my tablet and see if there's anything I can do. Out there. Well, the moon is still not good. It's what we used to call, when I was young, I guess, it's kind of yellowish. So in the fall, would call that a harvest moon. Right now, one of the official names of the moon is sturgeon. And I believe I grew up in near the Chicago area. Yes, those are named after fishes that the Indians thrived on. And I believe in the Great Lakes, you can find these sturgeons and so on. So one thing I did want to show, I'm going to go back to the moon map here again. On the one side, you'll see that we have a 6-foot ruler. So from the North Pole to the equator is 3 foot. So that's basically 1 yard, almost 1 meter. So from the equator to the North Pole is again 1 yard or 1 meter. So if you want to do mathematics with your drone and this and land on areas, for example, what the young people have to learn is to take off from here, for example. What we're going to do is put the land rovers. There are 3 land rovers on the moon. Apollo 15th, 16th, and 17th. So Apollo 15th landed about here. Okay. Wrong. That's Apollo 11. Apollo 15 landed up here near the mountain area where there's a break in the mountain right on this side. And that's where they landed with the lunar rover, the first one. That was Apollo 15. Then on 16 and 17, they also had a rover. They actually made 4 of them. One of them is still here on the ground, never took off. So basically what we'll do is put this down here. You can see it fits right into that square, the grid. And then our young people will learn to fly a drone. And this new JROTC drone has got color-coded landing pads. So we're working, if I put it down, it's a square, and it's black or white or red or green. But what we're trying to do is to actually print some landscapes. And you can see the landscape is, in this case, black. We can print them any color we want, but we're using for the time being those that look close to the moon. We'll print black or blue, and we may put the blue ones down, separate them, or from the Chinese, and so on. So when we put it here, they'll fly the drone, they can land it, and you can get all kinds of measurements. They can get measurements out of Moon Trek, how far that is. Can actually in Moon Trek put a dot there and a dot here, and it will tell you on the moon how many kilometers it is. So in our case, then they can take that and use computer math, computation to change that into feet or inches. So those of you who are teaching math, for example, know that by at least middle school, young people should know the Pythagorean equation. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So if you put in there some stock figures, such as 3, 4, 5, you could go from here to here with 4, okay? And then the drone will tell you this, and then you can calculate the C squared, the hypothesis, down. The drone that we're going to use for junior ROTC, the cold drone, actually has sensors. It will read the height of the drone. So what we have is flags that are 3 foot high that we fly around and test for racing and so on. So 3 foot, then we'll go 4 foot from here to there, foot, and we have the same equation. So we can actually start teaching mathematics with it. Or how do you get from X to Y? Well, obviously with the drone, you've got X, Y, and then Z, you have to come up. And then we stress the fact that once we're working with circles, okay, we're no longer on what we call land navigation, where a mile is 5,280 feet, okay? So once you fly with a great circle on the globe, and your line of sight is about 7 miles before you lose your radio signal. So now it's down here. So if you take this, bring it up here in a curve, and then draw a line, that aeronautical or nautical mile is longer than your linear mile. So therefore, your linear mile is a land mile, but this is a celestial mile or nautical mile. Okay, so basically, then there are formulas for that. In this case, the most commonly used formula is Haverson's formula. So anyone who looks these up, I will probably make chapters on this if it turns out the way I want it. And so on, so that we can go through and can actually plug in some of the math or short figures on these right triangles and the various distances, linear distances. So let's see if we got any more moon. And I'm going to see if Roy's come on yet. I'm sitting down, and there we are. I'm on another camera now. So, well, it looks if I do some massaging, we might come up with the moon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you can start seeing some moon. Now let's see if you can see there's still a halo around it. That's the clouds. Oh, lost it. It didn't like what I did. Well, maybe I ought to leave it alone. There it goes. Actually, it looks like we're kind of losing the signal. Let's see if we can do a focus on there. Well, you can see the clouds are still passing by. Once in a while, you start to see some of the discrete elements of the surface of the moon. They come and go. So anyway, we'd have to center that. So it'd take a little bit of work. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'd like to get a better focus on there. You are starting to see some of the Marias, the seas. I see tranquility a little bit. That we just took a picture. By the way, you see the picture came up on the left side. I'm going to take another one. And you can see there I got video, and I can also do a time lapse. So this is fairly nice for astronomy. The only problem with it, in my opinion, is this is portrait mode and not landscape mode. The dwarf is landscape mode, and therefore you can get some of the bigger nebulas with it, whereas a sea star might not get some of the big nebulas, but it will get the little ones, the smaller ones, with better definition than the sea star, but not a whole lot. You can see we got streaming there across that cloud. So anyway, I guess we're just not going to see the moon. So let me see if anybody else. Okay, that's about all I wanted to show you. So Tad, are you still there? If you are, just tell me. And it's 9:32, so we've been on now for 32 minutes. So that's pretty much there. But the moon is getting a little bit better, but not a lot. I may keep this going a little bit. Okay, Tad, is your daughter there seeing any of this? It's nice that we can chat. I've been doing this with one of my mentored students' mother, who is Mexican American. So she does a translation for me. So hopefully the next time we do this for real on the International Moon Night, we'll have a Spanish version of it for the people down in. We've got email addresses for those that did the Moon Night, back on the moon again night out of France, from Chile, Argentina, Colombia, and so on. So yeah, school tomorrow. So okay, well, thank you for being on. I'm gonna just let this roll a little bit and see if the moon doesn't come clear sky. The eastern sky is the part that's cloudy tonight and last night, so I don't know why. It must be maybe the land mass is there, and so on, because when we hit the zenith last night, it was a beautiful moon. And I didn't follow it through the night, but through some of the time, it was very good. And there you can see the moon's coming up again. It comes and goes, but you can see, interesting enough, the sea star is tracking it pretty well. It did ask me at the start if it was centered, and you say yes or no. So if you say no, it'll try to center it again. So it does have trouble centering it when you don't have a good moon and you don't have a good circle. So, but it can track it fairly well. So you can see it is tracking, because as we're talking, about every 4 minutes, that moon, if you look at it through a telescope on your own, is gone and very difficult to find because it moves in an arc. So if you're looking with a regular telescope, you have to go up and to the right, up and to the right, stair step wise. So And so the clouds are thinning out because the moon is getting a little bit brighter, but they're still causing a diffuse light. You can see that as it shoots off, making the halo's not there the way it was, but you've got hot spots and you've got some light shooting out. So what I think I'll do is just leave it up a little bit. So with that, I'm going to sign off from my standpoint. I'm just going to leave it go. See if it'll track the moon till it finds a better moon. You can see it's getting a little bit better in a circle there right now. So, but I'm going to turn off the sound. Put the logo back on so that people know that that's the end of the program. So we'll just leave this, bring this up. In the radio world, if you're using radio waves and you're licensed to use them, the ham radio world or amateur radio, you have to put your call signs up every so often. So at least every half hour. So basically what I'll do is bring this up if we get to good moon every so often so they know what they're watching. We do have a Mecha logo that should be coming up on the live part. Down in the corner, you'll see the Mecha logo, so that would be acceptable for identification reasons. So, but on YouTube and license free or common creative license, it really doesn't matter that much. Okay, there I'm back, Roy. I was just about was going to close up because Thad was on there. He's working on it. This dwarf. So there I am. Okay, you can see there is one camera view. Here's another camera view. You said you think you're here, so it looks like a network is working. We haven't been able to get Thad with that on there. I'm going to try tomorrow. again and see if I can get the librarian from Harker Heights, see if she's willing to try to plug in. We probably have to have a session somewhere together where we plug all these in so they learn how to do it. It's not too hard to do with Zoom, but it's a little bit harder to do it the way I'm doing it here, where you would need, and most of the kids know how to do this, you need a capture card. So when they're playing games, they have to use a capture card to put it into streaming. So anyway, while I'm talking there, I'm waiting for Roy to answer me. I said, "Are you seeing me now, Roy?" And I haven't seen your reply yet. So what I was planning on doing, because we haven't really seen the moon, it's too cloudy where we're looking at it. So, and it comes and it goes, it plays peekaboo. So I'll bring it up there so Roy, you can see it. And there it is, but you can see it's nothing but clouds, and it'll come out as a circle through there once in a while, but you won't see the moon the way we should be seeing the moon. And I'll show you a little bit of presentation. There's a little bit more of what the moon should look like, and it's not centered now, and I'm not going to try to censor it because I'll tend to lose it. What I'll try to do is focus it. And it's not focusing. And it's having enough trouble just trying to track it. It's been tracking it now since about 8:30. So hopefully we'll find it again there. So anyway, at least Roy, okay, you can only chat on the tablet. Well, that's okay. I'm not really sure why, depending on what, you should be able to chat on the laptop, but it kind of depends on how your settings are, because I'm on my computer and the chat is on the right side of the screen. So maybe if you minimize or make smaller, that would be minimize again, but not all the way down, just part screen, you'll see the video on the left side, which will be 3/4 of the screen, and then the chat will be in a column on the right side of the screen. So are you not seeing that? So if you've got it on full screen, the chat, I don't think, will be there. As I said, it's a little bit tricky on getting all these settings. That's why we need to practice and practice until we get it right. I've got all the technology working now, as long as I don't use Zoom. Zoom throws another layer in there that can complicate the issue. And there you can see one, two, three, four. There's the moon. It got cloudy again. Actually, I think right now it's got two moons in there. The real moon is on the left. And it looks like it's working its way in the screen. And it's coming and going. That's because it's having trouble tracking. It expects a nice round bright circle, and it's not getting that. So you'll find it when it's cloudy like this, when the clouds just come over and there's no circle, it will track it because there's a compass, and it can track it for a while, but it needs to find that circle again. So anyway, there I am back again. And you can see the rest of studio now there. You can see our moon map and a lecture stand there. So I'm going to cut off here in just a minute. I was off, Roy, and then you came back on. So I'm waiting to see if I see any more chat coming from you. But I don't, so I'll say goodbye and cut off the sound.